Please welcome to the show, Caitlin Clark. Caitlin, did you ever
What's
think
up,
you'd
guys?
be back? Cheers.
Excited to be
Cheers.
back. Don't worry. I got this nice throwback Gatorade can.
Well played.
With her trademark charm and humor, Caitlin Clark pulled back the curtain on everything from her transition to the WNBA, to locker room rumors, to what actually happened. In those gritty college matchups, she pulled off what no one saw coming and did it live via Zoom in a no-holds-barred interview with WNBA legends Sue Bird and Diana Taurasi. From the moment she stepped onto the screen, it was obvious that this wasn't going to be your typical feel-good segment.
Product placement.
There we
Well
go.
Our show loves it. Our show loves it.
It was the callback that went viral on the internet a year ago, when Diana Taurasi looked into the camera and sent Caitlin Clark the now famous warning. That reality is coming, but what exactly did she reveal? And why is everyone in the basketball world talking about it right now? Stay tuned, because Caitlin didn't hold back about a lot of things about Paige Bueckers, Diana Taurasi, and even the baseless lies that Cheryl Swoops has been spreading about the team.
What will the league have in store for them when they get there?
Look, SVP, reality is coming.
Okay.
There's levels to this thing, and that's just life. We all went through it.
Of course.
And you see it on the NBA side, and you're going to see it on this side, where, you look superhuman playing against 18-year-olds, but you're going to come with some grown women that have been playing professional basketball for a long time.
This year, it goes without saying that Diana broke her promise. Clark's reply was a confident smile, a small nod, and a smirk. The energy was electric, humorous, and lighthearted. But it was also a statement.
Congrats
Man, so
on
you've
your
been watching the
retirement,
first
D.
half.
Thank you.
And congrats.
Now,
to you.
unfortunately,
Well,
reality
thanks.
is coming to me now.
What's your big plans?
in early.
What are you going to do?
I keep telling Sue I thought I was going to have all this time to do all these things. I'm more busy now. So if I give you any advice, play as long as possible.
We'll see. We'll get to 10 years. Then we'll think about it.
It's 10 years.
Diana Taurasi and Caitlin Clark's time on the court together was more than simply a game. It was a generational moment as they reflected on their first Phoenix match. Taurasi didn't hold back when it came to the mood. The audience was electrified, and it felt like the final game ever. The excitement was genuine. And it was about more than simply basketball. It was about watching a torch be handed in real time. Diana talked admiringly, emphasizing how bizarre it felt to finally play against the athletes she had spent years watching dominate college basketball.
What was it like for you two to play against each other?
It was amazing. I've been following Caitlin for so long and been watching her college career just in awe. And to be on the court and, the first game was in Phoenix, and it felt like the last game that was ever going to be played. There was such anticipation. The crowd was going crazy. All the people that came out to see Caitlin and our teams play against each other. It really was an amazing moment. And you talked about how, if you could play against anyone that is this new generation. So I got to cross paths with Caitlin, at least for a couple games. And to me, that meant a lot, we've been doing this for a long time, and to see Caitlin do what she does is, I think someone said the other day, I'm like, I want the season to start so I can watch you again.
Caitlin's approach was just as elegant, but with that distinctive edge. She recalled that Phoenix matchup as well, but this time it was personal. We were behind by about 10 or 15. But we rallied and prevailed. She recalled the pride in her voice, realizing that the comeback wasn't just a statistic on the board, but a turning point for her and her team. Defeating a legend like Taurasi and winning, that's what gives you confidence. And Caitlin made sure to mention it.
And what it was like to play against D.
Well, I was saying, that game in Phoenix, because we only played in Phoenix one time. And it was before Olympic break. Obviously, we had All-Star there too, but it was a great game. Honestly, I'm pretty sure we were down 10 or 15 and came all the way back and won. That was like our first like win versus a team that was above 500. So thank you. I appreciate that.
Great.
However, underlying the rivalry, there was respect for one another. And the occasion expanded beyond a single game to include a clash of eras. That was filmed in real time. Even though Caitlin and Diana are at different stages of their careers, their influence is eternal, and as they laughed and smiled throughout the story, it became evident that this was more than just lighthearted banter. It was the past and future of basketball sitting in perfect harmony.
Caitlin, how excited are you for this next WNBA season? New head coach and Stephanie White. You added Natasha Howard, who Sue knows really well, DeWanna Bonner, which I know really well, Sophie Cunningham. I mean, it seems like, you know, from the outside, this roster's ready to compete now, which is easy for us to say. We know there's a process to get there, but like when you see that and you see those names come in, what does that make you feel like?
Speaking about her redesigned roster, Caitlin Clark couldn't contain her excitement as she enters the 2017 WNBA season. With more than just momentum, she's coming in with firepower, Stephanie White, the new head coach shot-maker Sophie Cunningham, defensive powerhouses Sydney Kelson and Brianna Turner, and seasoned players Natasha Howard and DeWanna Bonner Clark is familiar with their names and, more significantly, what they have to offer. But she is also aware of the difficulties that lie ahead with 7 new players. And a constrained amount of time to establish chemistry, Caitlin is accepting the fact that she is already in figure-it-out mode.
Oh, well, I mean, obviously on paper we have a really good team, but, you know, you only have, we start training camp, I think, on the 27th, and then, like, we have a back-to-back of preseason games on May 3rd and May 4th. So it's like, you have a very short amount of time to put that together, and 7 new pieces, and whether we carry 11 or 12, like, more than half of our roster, like, that's, you know, that's a hard thing within itself, but we should be pretty good. And like, I'm excited about it. I think what we needed was, you know, we added a lot more experience. Like in the playoffs, we just didn't have that. We were a young group. Even Kels, like obviously with being with the Fever during her entire career, she hasn't really had the opportunity to play in a ton of playoff games. So having that, whether it's Sydney Colson, whether it's DB, whether it's Natasha Howard, whoever it is, I think having that experience is going to be really good for us and that leadership in the locker room. So I'm excited.
Additionally, she has been improving not only mentally, but also physically when questioned about that well-known off-season picture in which her arms appeared abnormally jacked. Caitlin started giggling, asterisk.
There was the viral picture that went around showing off your guns. Everyone's wondering, have you been hitting the weight room? Was it the camera angle? What happened there?
Like, how did you do that? I've been trying to do that for 20 years.
AI is getting out of control. Come on.
But then the truth came out. She acknowledged that she spent a lot of time in the weight room to feel more dominant on the court as well as to look the part. She even identified areas for improvement, such as mastering the mid-range and adding a floater to finish through contact. It's obvious that she's not just training to stay competitive. She's training to take over.
What are
Trying
you
to
doing in
get
the
stronger.
off-season working on your game?
You're trying to get stronger, like a lot of time in the weight room, and it's like something like I kind of enjoy, so it's been pretty easy for me to like spend time in there and really work on that part of my game. And you know, I think the biggest thing on the court is just like that mid-range area. Like I got pretty uncomfortable in there when I would get in there, whether that's like I didn't really have any floater, I didn't like taking a mid-range jump shot, so just getting more comfortable like when I get my feet kind of into the paint, and honestly trying to just add a floater to my game, and you know, finishing through contact and little things like that. But I think just going back to the weapons that we've added this year, like there's going to be so many different things that we're able to do that I think it'll be able to make my life a little bit easier, and it should make everybody's life a little bit easier on our team.
That degree of self-awareness is uncommon, particularly for someone who is still very young in their professional career. But Caitlin is already acting like an expert, and I kind of like it. She spoke of the grind, referring to the leadership, challenges, and physical preparation that come with having a star-studded roster. She is aware that the expectations are high, but she is meeting them head-on. Recall the time when Cheryl Swoops claimed that the locker room of the Indiana Fever is toxic.
People in the Fever were like, y'all.
That's not my point. There's a lot of other shit going on that players are like, this ain't where I want to be.
Over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some new shit
like
going
it's
on around there.
It's a lot. So you have players that are very significant on this Indiana Fever team that are like, I don't
want to be here.
This is where I want to be.
Yeah.
She verified what we had already known, that Swoop's statements were untrue.
That whole week was like, Indiana, they don't get along, all this. And I'm like, great. And then I'm like, this is the most together team I've ever seen.
Is that one of the hardest things for you as a pro now? Just seeing all the narratives like that one, that your team didn't get along, and just having to literally ignore it, deal with it, even though you know it's not true?
Caitlin Clark is aware of what it's like to battle UConn, and she recalled every instance of our 3 meetings with them. She mentioned games from the Phil Knight tournament to the Sweet 16, and ultimately, the Final Four each time was a test. And Gino Arama's team always came prepared, pitting me against the best scouts. She claimed that you could tell how intelligent he is.
I think it's something you kind of just become used to. It's like people think they know what's going on inside of your locker room, and they just don't. At the end of the day, it's just, the girls that you have in there, and then obviously your coaching staff, and that's all that matters. And honestly, the best thing about last year is we honestly had so much fun together. Yeah, we lost our first 8 games or whatever, but we wouldn't have won if we didn't have a tight-knit circle or a good locker room. And that's the reason we kind of turned everything around, is just we needed some time. We were a young group, and we figured it out. But yeah, it was really fun, honestly.
Whether it was various defensive looks or top defenders hammering her entire court, it wasn't simply flattery, it was a mixture of respect and frustration. Caitlin made it apparent that UConn never made things simple. He was always carrying something in his back pocket. She also mentioned Gino, which turned every game like a chess duel.
So when you play against a Coach Arayama coached team, what kind of beast is that?
Well, I think they just are so disciplined. That's just, we're going to do what they do. They're going to do it really well. And also I think for myself, facing his teams, they always had some of the best scouts against me. You can tell how smart he is.
Yeah.
He understands the game. He's coached against so many really good players, and there were games I would go into, and the scouts were just it was just come on, why are you going under ball screens? Why are you in drop coverage? But he just made it difficult.
However, Caitlin appreciates not only the program, but also the players. When she was asked about Paige Becker, her tone changed to one of admiration for her elegance. That's something you need going into the W. Caitlin noted right away. She commended Paige's composed, mature demeanor on the court, saying that nothing ever seems to shake her.
She would throw different defenders at me, and obviously having Nika Mule last year, she's probably one of the better defenders that I've faced. She's just up in your grill. She'll pick you up 94 feet. But then he just always has an answer, has different people. And I think that's one of the best things about him. He has one game plan, but then he has something in his back pocket that he can go to. Yeah. And that's going to bother you again.
She is capable of scoring on all 3 levels. Caitlin went on to say that Paige's mid-range game was among the finest she has ever seen, which is great coming from someone who has dominated at every level. However, Caitlin didn't stop there. She also mentioned Paige's versatility, noting that she can play point guard or off the ball, which will be fascinating next to R.
When you watch Paige play and you see her in the next level, what are the things that obviously she's going to take to the WNBA and it's going to translate instantly? And what are the things that, it takes you a couple games to get used to?
I think her poise, that's something you need coming into the W. It all hits you so fast. Is you're moving to a new city, you're trying to understand new teammates, you have a new coach, while you're trying to live up to all these expectations. And I think that's one of the greatest things about her game is just her poise and her maturity, and nothing ever seems to faze her.
When a discussion devolves into technical fouls, it's going well, and with Diana Taurasi. Sue Bird and Caitlin Clark involved, it didn't let you down.
I think she'll honestly fit right in. So, I mean, and
Yeah,
like
so Caitlin,
that arena's fun to play in too. Like it's a small place.
Yeah.
It's loud. You know, honestly, they should move every game to American Airlines because I think Paige has that type of draw. Like, she'll be able to bring those type of fans in. I know we're playing there one of our games. Hopefully, the other one gets moved too. We would appreciate that, Dallas Wings, if you can move the other one. But
I love them. I love this.
With everyone admitting to their less than harmonious moments on the court, the program evolved into a humorous therapy session. Diana proudly donned her uniform and related how she was once tossed after picking up a tech-in. The first and third quarters, when it was time to leave, she left.
Speaking of how much D loves refs and technicals and ejections, here's the time Diana got ejected and sent me this photo from the locker room.
Oh my gosh, you got tossed.
Got tossed.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah, D, tell us.
Yeah,
what happened?
Sue, however, asserted her near-perfect record, drawing jeers and taunts from both sides. At that point, Caitlin came under fire, admitting that she was alluding to the WNBA's 7-tech limit and deadpan delivery, half of which weren't even for speaking to referees.
I think I picked one up quick in the first quarter, which is you're always doomed when you pick up a quick one. And then I picked one up in the third quarter and it was time to go home. So I took my ass to the back and chilled out, and my team got the win, and we went from there. But
How
I
many
had to make.
technicals did you get last year?
Say that again, Caitlin.
How many technicals did you get last year?
So last year, I think I think the limit is 7, and you get suspended.
Yeah, you got 6.
I got 6.
When asked to set an over-under for her techs this season, Caitlin said she only promised 2. And Diana and Sue confidently took over. However, beneath all the laughter, there was a serious edge because she understands the optics, the expectations, and the leadership role she's stepping into for this reason. She ended with a subtle promise to her coach Stephanie White to keep the fire going, but not go overboard.
I got 2 for slapping the stanchion of the hoop, and then I got another one for accidentally hitting somebody in the eye. So half of mine weren't even like me getting to talk to the ref, which was dumb.
Yeah. I hate those side technicals. It's like, just look away. Why are you looking at me?
Act like you didn't
Just
see
go
it.
call the foul. No. What are that for?
The laughter continued as the interview came to an end. Diana made fun of Caitlin for the notorious WNBA All-Star setup game, accusing it of being a ruse for the novices with her cup in hand. Caitlin simply grinned and remarked, "I had a great time." You could sense it as Sue and Diana wished her luck for the season. Caitlin Clark isn't just part of the conversation anymore. She is the conversation. It was a full circle moment, with legends and the league's newest star connecting. Overshared stories, wild games, and the chaos that makes the WNBA unforgettable.
I got 6 too.
I
But
had
this
2 my
year,
whole career.
Hey, you
This year
got
I'm
a couple
not.
too. I can see it. Yeah.
oh wow, Sue, you're so perfect. That's good.
Okay, Caitlin, over under technicals.
The
next
refs
year.
love me.
I'm going 4.5. Over
Caitlin?
under.
Over.
Over 4.5.
Under.
I'm going over 2.
I already told.
No
I already
way.
Told,
No
I already
way.
told Steph too. Nice.
2.
And it's more games.
Oh, it's
Well,
more
the
games.
thing is, the league-
The
I
odds are
was
against
close-
you.
I was close to getting suspended for our last game, and like obviously every front office or your GM like tries to like get your technicals taken away, and they wouldn't take any of mine away.
Caitlin Clark didn't just join the conversation, she owned it in a room. Well, a Zoom. With 2 of the best to ever do it. She demonstrated why the future of women's basketball is in very good hands. And if this interview is any indication of what's coming next on the court and off, we're all in for something special. Let us know in the comments how excited you are, because training camp will take place in a few weeks during preseason. In less than a month, like and turn on all notifications so you don't miss anything. Click the video on the screen, and we'll see you in the next.
Do you want to be like her or you want to be like me? This is your choice this year. This is your choice.
It's like the
I'll be in
angel
the
of the
middle.
devil.
I'll be in the middle. Don't worry.
In the middle. Thank you.
Perfect. All right, guys, I don't know if you saw, but this is turning into a little bit of a blowout. A little bit of
Oh my God.
We are going to take a look at some memories. Caitlin versus Dee in the All-Star game in Phoenix. As Diana likes to call it, the ultimate.
That's the setup game.
It's a setup game.
Caitlin, when you're on the next national team, don't play in that game. It's the ultimate setup.
It's a setup.
It's a setup.
You guys are all
None of
loose.
you guys
are all
to
loose.
smile. I was having fun.
I had a great
You
time. I had a great time.
Yeah,
I
look
had
at
my
Sue.
cup in my hand. I had a great time.
Who's having the best
Sue
time
was,
ever?
Sue said
Caitlin,
she was
thank you
rooting
so-
for the team WNBA.
I was on that side of the court.